So as we already discussed earlier, the Government of India Act of 1858 had introduced significant changes in the manner in which India was governed from England. However, it did not alter in any substantial way the system of government that prevailed in India. It was just some administrative changes made to suit their needs at best. Remember, their needs. And moreover, in the aftermath of the mutiny of 1857, there was a general perception in England that it would be very difficult to govern India without the cooperation of Indians in the administration. Also, the Governors General Council had no representation of the people in it. There was a growing demand that some representative element should be introduced in the Legislative Council. Because of these reasons, the British enacted some legislations to overhaul the system of administration in India. So let's look into the key provisions of this act. The most significant feature of this act was the association of Indians with the legislation work. It provided that the Viceroy should nominate some Indians as non-official members of his expanded council. Which is why in 1862, Lord Canning, the then Viceroy, nominated 3 Indians to his Legislative Council. Who were those 3 Indians? They were the Raja of Banaras, the Maharaja of Patiala and Sir Dinkar Rao. The Act also initiated the process of decentralization by restoring the legislative powers to the Bombay and Madras presidencies. Pay attention to this. We are talking about decentralization here. With which act and in which year did the British start its centralizing tendencies? It started from the Regulating Act of 1773 and it reached its peak, its climax under the Charter Act of 1833. So after almost 100 years, this centralizing tendency was reversed with the Indian Councils Act of 1861. This very policy of legislative devolution resulted in the grant of almost complete internal autonomy to the provinces in 1937. What do we mean by complete internal autonomy? It means that the provinces had the freedom to manage their own affairs. There was also a provision made for the formation of legislative councils in other provinces. Legislative councils were formed in other provinces in Bengal in 1862, Northwest Frontier Province in 1886, and Punjab and Burma in 1897. Moreover, new provinces could also be created for legislative purposes and lieutenant governors could be appointed for them. Lord Canning, who was the Governor General and Viceroy at the time, introduced the portfolio system. In this system, each member was assigned a portfolio of a particular department. Under this, a member of the Viceroy's Council was made in charge of one or more departments of the government and was authorized to issue final orders on behalf of the Council on matters of his departments. This was the first beginning of portfolio system in India. The Governor General was also given the power to promulgate ordinances without the Council's concurrence during emergencies. The life of such an ordinance was 6 months, so we can establish that the ordinance system that we have in place today was derived from this very act. The same power is given to the President of today's India under Article 7 as well.